All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy days to be with us today. My name is Earle Harrison, and I will be your host today. We're going to just dive into uh, the Braille eMotion. It has a lot to offer for a Braille display, but before we do, I'd like to just go ahead and introduce you to my coworkers and panelists here, starting with Kayla.
Hi, everyone. My name's Kayla. I'm the marketing and education coordinator here at HIMSS, and I'll be helping out with the Q&A at the end of the presentation. So don't feel afraid to raise your hand or type something in the comment box. I'll help around with that.
Next up, we've got Randy On, company CEO.
Thank you for your time. For everybody who attended this Zoom meeting, I hope that I believe that this time will be very, useful and will be worth for your information. Thank you.
And thank you, Randy. Last but not least, certainly the newest addition to the HIMSS team. It's kind of acquired a territory of the U.S. that he's very well familiar with, and we're so happy to have him on board. Antonio.
Hi, everyone. This is Antonio Guimaras, and I'm sales account manager at HIMSS. Longtime HIMSS product user. I've been using the Braille since the classic, and glad to be here with you all this morning. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And with that, we'll just go ahead and get started and let you go ahead and roll, Antonio, with the first part of this, which is our physical description of the Braille eMotion.
All right, Earl, thank you for that introduction. And I have here the Braille eMotion in my hands. And it is an elongated and pretty solid feeling device. I'm going to hold it up to the camera for those of you who can see, and I'll describe what is on the different faces of it. I'm holding it up here, and if you're looking at it or touching it, you'll see the top panel, starting with the Braille display at the bottom. It's a 40-cell Braille display with our capsule-shaped scroll keys on each side, on the left and on the right. My fingers are hiding, but below there, the Braille display is a space bar. We've put it there so your thumb rests comfortably when you put your hands on the Perkins style keyboard, which is above the cursor router keys here. And to the top left of the device are three buttons, three small square shaped buttons in a row, left to right, with a W for Wi-Fi, a B for Bluetooth, and a C for connectivity. On the past the Braille, Perkins Braille keyboard here, you'll see a rounded concave power button, and to the very top right and top left of the unit are stereo speakers. The Braille eMotion is a smart Braille display with speech capabilities. And then at an angle here, you'll see some keys that should be familiar to BrailleSense users. You have on the very left what we're calling the cursor key, and on the right is another cursor key. Those are square or squarish. They can be used for advancing and backing up the display and so forth as thumb keys. And in between those, from left to right, is F1, F2. Then there's a little bump in the middle. There's a microphone, a home key, and another microphone. So this is also a voice recorder. And it's that sort of face of it in the front, angled. I'll turn it around to the right panel. And we have a volume down button, a volume up button. Those have dots on them. The down button has a dot towards the bottom. The volume up button has a dot towards the top. And there's a mode button that lets you change between switching the volume and the pitch and so forth, parts of the speech. Then at the center here, going towards the back of the unit, there is a 1/8 inch headphone jack and USB-C that we use to charge and other things. There's nothing on the back of it. And if we turn to the left panel, we have a voice recorder button that if you press once will open the voice recorder. And if you press and hold for a bit, it will open the voice recorder and start recording. Then there's a USB-A port here towards the front of the eMotion. And that is the physical description of it. I will go ahead and put it down here and start getting ready to show you some of the features internally that it does. It is not just a Braille display, but very robust note-taking device. So if you've used the Braille Sense products, it's inherited the programming from those devices, from that device into here. So there's some functionality that we ported right from the Braille Sense 6. So I'll be showing you those in just a moment here, and I'll hand you over back to Earle for a quick second.
Okay, yeah, I just want to point out also that the on the left side, we actually forgot the left side. We've got the USB-A host port. Did I miss that before?
I think I forgot the word host. Yeah.
USB-A host port, and then there's a record button just beyond that. And it's interesting because this Braille display looks like very similar to other displays on the market. Which begs the question, well, what makes this so special? Well, because we've actually taken a lot of the best features of some of our other products, like the mode button and the volume up and volume down are very reminiscent of the Sense player that some of you might be familiar with. It works the same way, in fact. And the record button works the same way as the one on the Sense
Power
player.
on. AC adapter
as well.
connected.
And then
Record 01 of 25 list item.
Okay. So as Antonio mentioned, this is a multi faceted display. It's not just a Braille display. Although, that's the main purpose of a Braille display is to connect to other things, right? But we've also got, as you mentioned, the applications that you may already be familiar with from the Braille Sense. They're actually direct ports from the Braille Sense. And he's going to go through that a little bit with the user interface here in just a minute. And I believe he's ready. I heard he started screen share. The W, the B, and the C in the upper left corner are very, those types of buttons are kind of familiar for those of you who are using the Sense player as well. And they kind of work this almost the same way. But the other things I don't think you mentioned on the top panel, you've still got those chiclet style buttons on either end of the Braille array to scroll the length of the display. But you also have those keys in the front that you can press with your thumbs to do the same exact thing. So, okay, so now we've got 3 ways of doing it: the left scroll buttons, the right scroll buttons, and the scroll buttons on the front of the device. Well, my preference, of course, is to navigate using the scroll buttons on the front of the device. So I might choose to, in my global options, set the left ones to navigate by sentence or line, and set the right scroll buttons on the top to navigate by paragraph. So now I've got 3 preset ways to scroll my Braille display. So, and we'll go ahead and get back to Antonio, who it sounds like, are you ready for us with the user interface part?
Let's give it a try. So I'll go ahead and run through a few things here. Probably most things, it's a nice run down through. I'll go ahead and press that home button that's on the front of the unit, and it'll go to the main menu.
My eMotion. Why?
And here you will see folders that you maybe use frequently, and they, if I press enter, you'll see
Daisy folder 1 4 list item. Documents folder 2 4 list item. Books folder 3 4 list item. Music folder 4 4 list item.
so this will play MP3 and WAV files, and there's that music folder here to remind you of that. I'll press that home button again. I could press backspace. I'll press home
My eMotion, Y.
and just run down through the main menu real quick. Here we go.
File manager, F.
So the file manager has the first letter navigation F, so you can press just the home key and then F, or you can actually press the home key and something I do very often, which is the cursor router key number 2. It's the second option on the menu. So if you are often using the file manager, you can do that as well. And then the third one,
Notepad, N. Connectivity, C. Document reader, K.
document reader reads a few more formats than you can create with eMotion, such as PDF and HTML and so forth.
Daisy player, D.
Daisy player.
Media player, M. Utilities, U.
In utilities, we'll navigate through that real quick in a second.
Settings, S. Help, H.
And something I really like about the eMotion, because it speaks, and I speak Portuguese as well and some Spanish, but folks who do speak other or the languages,
Settings, S.
you can go in here
Braille options, voice options, V.
in voice options and change even the English voices that you might have downloaded. I had Tom earlier, and I have this one now. I think it's Samantha. And you can download different languages, so it'll come up speaking a language that you change it to. It'll also change the Braille table and the system language, so all customizable there. Let's back up and go to
Settings, S.
utilities.
Utilities, U. Voice recorder, V.
Here's the voice recorder and calculator.
Calculator, C. Display time and date, D.
And display time and date, you can from anywhere use the universal key, space plus T for time.
Wake up alarm, A.
Wake up alarm, you can actually set it to wake up to your WAV or MP3 file, as you can with our other devices. So it's just like the other ones.
Stopwatch, W. Backup restore flash disk, K. Format, F. Sleep timer, J. Upgrade Braille eMotion firmware, U.
Upgrade Braille eMotion firmware can be done from within, from the internet. If you connect to Wi-Fi and go here, you're given an option to upgrade online if there is one, or offline if you downloaded a file. So that's one other function that the Wi-Fi allows you to do. And just wanted to show you a couple of other things, just the file manager and voice recorder here.
Utilities, My eMotion, Y.
My eMotion at the top of the menu here. So file manager is press the second cursor router key.
File manager, F.
And enter.
Sample recording MP355 list item. SD22 list item.
This takes a micro SD card. It's in the front of the unit on the right, to the right of the right cursor key, the squarish. It's a slightly rectangular key, just about a square. So you can expand this from the 43 gigabytes of internal memory that's available to you as a user to as much as you can get on an SD card. So I'll go back to
Flash disk 1 2
flash
list item.
disk and enter here
Audiobooks folder 110 list item.
and press the 3 times for documents.
Documents folder 510 list item. Hymns demo folder 11 list item.
There's a folder hymns demo. There's a file.
Demo BRL 11 list item. Demo BRL save? Yes, saving.
I had it open, so I'm saving
Save
it
complete.
again.
Loading. Demo BRL open. Now let's have a look at the top of document. Hello. You are now in the notepad. This is where you can read, write, and edit files. You can create files in formats including Braille, Word files, and more. You are able to both read from a display and listen to speech. Now let's have a look at other functions like the voice recorder.
I'll just have a quick show of the voice recorder and hand it over back to Earl. So let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and press the, actually it's quicker if you press the voice recorder key, then you press Enter R. So I'll do
Voice recorder.
this one, and this one,
Recording.
and I'm recording. Test.
Record 03 MP3 recording static box.
This is a recording, the first one from a demo of the Braille eMotion. Let's go ahead and press a space+Z here and listen to it real quick.
Do you want to save the current file? Yes.
I saved it. And I'm going to go to my SD card because I chose to save those files there whenever there's a recording. So
My file map demo BR documents folder 5 flash disk 1 2 list item.
what I did there is I pressed the home key and then the second cursor router and just backspaced to the root of the,
Flash disk 1 2 list item.
and here's the,
SD 2 list item.
and enter
Alarms
there
folder.
and
Recordings folder 18. Records here. SD recording. SD recordings edit combo box. ST.
It's,
File manager F.
they had a big,
My
big
eMotion.
my
File
big fingers got in the way
flash
there.
disk
So let's
1
do this again.
Alarms folder. Recordings folder. Record 01. Record 03 MP356 list item.
I think this is it. Let's see.
Record 02 Watt 46. Records.
If it's not out. This is a recording
Oh, thank goodness it is.
from a demo of the Braille eMotion. Let's go ahead and press a space+Z here and listen to it real quick.
Record 03 MP356 list item.
All right, so that's a quick rundown on the Braille eMotion's functions. There's a bit more to go through, but I think I hopefully have given you a good taste of what it does.
And I did want to just go over
My eMotion. Why?
the difference between my eMotion
File manager.
and file manager
F.
before we move on to the connectivity part of it. So right now I'm obviously operating within the eMotion, the internal functions of the motion. And we have two items at the top here. One's called My eMotion, and one's called File Manager. So that begs the question, what is the difference between the two? And some of you remember back in, say, the Windows XP days, how you used to have something called My Computer. And actually Windows 7 also had it, but they changed it to File Explorer in recent versions of Windows. But My eMotion is kind of like my computer. So everything that you do,
My eMotion. Why?
you hear that every time you press F, or rather the home button to go back to the home screen. And everything that you create is going to live in the My eMotion folder, just like when you were doing, working with My Documents. So that includes recordings and podcasts, unless you tell it otherwise. So you do have some other choices where you can direct things to be saved. But by default, everything's going to land up here in My eMotion. You cannot navigate the folder or the drive structure of when you're using My eMotion. That's why we have
File manager.
File Manager.
F.
Okay. As Antonio mentioned before, the key between dots 1 and dot 4 is referred to as the center key. And when I press that in combination with the space bar,
USB legacy terminal mode.
I hear USB legacy terminal mode. So in the upper left corner, we have three buttons. We've got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and connectivity. A quick and press and release of the Wi-Fi button will turn on and off Wi-Fi. A press and hold will actually get you into the Wi-Fi settings, and the same goes for Bluetooth. With the connectivity, there are a few different ways to do things with the connectivity button, but as soon as you get press the connectivity button, it's going to connect you to the last thing that you connected with. The Braille eMotion is capable of simultaneously connecting to up to 6 devices, 1 USB and 5 Bluetooth. We heard USB legacy mode because the other mode that we can activate is something called USB HID mode. So that's for USB. Yeah, that's for screen readers that support the HID Braille protocol. So Vispero has a Braille display that supports both the legacy and the HID protocol, but their screen reader JAWS, the screen reader that I'm using right now, only supports legacy mode. So legacy devices. I think that has to do with the Braille driver signing or something like that. But I believe that by the time all is said and done, it'll be so seamless, you won't have to worry about whether you're in USB legacy or USB HID mode. So it should just detect it and work. So let me just go ahead and flip over here.
Screen sharing meeting controls. Screen sharing meeting. D3 see users area OneDrive desktop by Win60. Typing mode enabled.
Okay. So I've got 3 things connected to this device here.
Typing mode disabled.
That's another thing that's going to be an automatic in a future driver. We're working with the folks at Vispero so that they incorporate our next driver, which will turn on type over mode automatically. Right now,
Connecting.
I'm just pressing.
Successfully connected to Pixel 8 BRF terminal mode Bluetooth.
So I pressed space with the connectivity button, and that's going to cycle me between all my connected devices. In this case, it's my Pixel 8 here, and we hear it off in the distance over there, talking away.
Partly cloudy. Collapse.
Oh, there's the weather for Minneapolis. Right.
Partly cloudy. 62 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay. So I'm connected to the Pixel. If I press that keystroke again, it's either going to be space with connectivity button or backspace with a connectivity button. That's going to cycle me back and forth between my connected devices.
Connecting. Successfully connected to DESK terminal mode Bluetooth.
So that's my audio production machine, and I am connected with it, and I've got a list of some of my original tunes. Except the Lover You Don't Treat Me Good No More. That's a cover. So I've got all these different songs, and I'm actually controlling my audio production machine from across the room. It's all the way on the other side of the room. So this means that instead of having to carry a QWERTY keyboard with me over to my drums when I want to lay a drum track or a guitar track or something, I actually can just bring my Braille eMotion over there and start the recording and start recording and play back and all the things that I need to do on my audio production machine.
Connecting.
I pressed space with connectivity again.
Successfully connected to Earle's phone BR terminal mode Bluetooth.
Now it's successfully connected to Earle's phone, and now I am controlling my iPhone. I hate carrying 2 phones, but lately it just seemed that it made sense that I actually had a Pixel and an iPhone because, for testing purposes, if nothing else. But it works really well, and I think that I'm pleasantly surprised when I've revisited the Pixel, and I'm so happy to see that the Braille support has improved on the Android side a lot.
Connecting.
I'm going to go ahead and go back to
USB legacy connected.
legacy connection.
USB legacy terminal mode.
And let's talk a little bit about, okay, so I know how to do all this stuff. I mean, I did it obviously before I came on the call. I connected to all these devices because the idea of doing it in real time in front of y'all terrified me. But if I were sitting here by myself and I wanted to learn how to do stuff on the Braille eMotion,
File manager.
I could go into, let me see here. I'm going to go back to my eMotion.
Screen sharing D300 see users area D340. D340.
so I'm back in my main menu, and I want to go into the help. So as Antonio indicated, first letter navigation is supported throughout.
User guide, U.
And I just opened the help folder. There's a couple things in here.
Information about the Braille eMotion, I. Information
Yep,
about
just those two
user
things, the
guide,
user guide,
U.
which is the text of the entire manual, and information including the Android version and so forth.
Loading,
I'm loading the user guide right now.
loading, open. Navigation menu dialog.
And I'm
1.
navigating
Introduction. 2. Basic functions of the Braille eMotion.
the
40
basic
to 13
functions of
list
the Braille
item.
eMotion.
3. Customizing your Braille display. 313 list
using all
item.
those same commands I'm familiar with on the Braille Sense. And, some people, if they're in a market for a Braille device, probably they don't already have a Braille Sense, but this is to at least indicate that this is identical to how you would navigate the help system and the user interface for that matter on the Braille Sense and the eMotion.
4. File management. 4. 5. Notepad. 5. 6. Connectivity. 613
Yeah,
list
so
item.
I'm talking about connectivity, and this is
6.
what I want to
Connectivity.
learn about. So I'm in connectivity, and now I can just go ahead and do
6. Connectivity. The connectivity menu allows you to
say
manage and
all.
move among the various Braille display connections you have established with your Braille eMotion 40. To open the connectivity menu,
And knowing that space in combination with the center key is going to move me back and forth between my internal functions, so the help
USB legacy terminal mode,
back to working on my computer, I can actually have that document open as I'm reading about how to do it, carry out whatever tasks I want to do that are related to that, and then go back and forth between the two.
move among the various, have established with
Okay.
your USB legacy terminal mode.
And let's see where we.
Search box edit.
So I just pressed the F1 and I got into the search box for Windows. So as you hear,
Typing mode enabled.
I'm now working Windows. If I want to look for an application, let's say Reaper, for example,
Reaper X64 app. Press right to switch preview. Reaper X64
just
app. Press
type
right
in
to switch preview.
REA and it came up with Reaper. And now I can go back and forth between
The
my
connectivity, navigate, and
my
when you
display
first USB legacy terminal.
Find results in
pretty
apps.
seamlessly. So I can go back and forth between the internal functions of the Braille eMotion and whatever it is I'm connected with at the time. And it just goes, I love this thing. Again, thank you all so much for your time. And do you have anything you want to close with, Antonio?
I just want to echo your thanks to everyone, and I'm hoping to see folks at throughout the months and the years at our conferences that we attend. And thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you.
Our moderator, Randy, CEO of This Hymns Incorporated. And we're going to sign off and just call or email if you have any questions, folks.